Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new episode. We are live again with Laurent Cortines. My name is Chris Rodriguez here at TopFCRadio.com. And of course, you can have all these episodes on your favorite platforms and also on his Sweet Bum Time podcast. He's going to go solo
Squeaky
soon.
bum, not sweet bum, squeaky bum.
Dang it.
You know what? It's not a porn site, but it could be.
I keep getting it wrong, man. I'm sorry about that. But
it might. You know what? Chris really reinforcing the fact that it probably needs to be rebranded. So if anybody wants to give us a new name, please feel free to do so in the comments. I could go with Laurent Cortines FC, Cortini, SQBT, or I know people like to put their names on things, so maybe I'll just call it the Laurent Cortines podcast and call it a day. But Squeaky Bum Time has had its, and now I think it might need to go.
Maybe we need a rebrand. We need a rebrand. But
yeah, for sure. That's what's been holding me back.
Well, anyways, we had issues last week, man, with the audio, but we got it now. We came here on time and we got it all squared away. So everybody that's listening, I'm sorry about that. We apologize, but we got it under control now. So I had to switch mics. Yeah,
Chris, I think, if people don't know, this has been Chris's baby. He's the one running the show. He's been amazing. We are getting our sea legs in the off season so that when we hit the season and those things kick off in August or the Women's World Cup final comes off, we're going to be there. We're going to be sharp. It's going to be good. Chris and I are going to have our banter, but we're still working through it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. By the way, the Women's World Cup, when does it start?
I think either Saturday or next Monday. I'm not sure.
I know it's pretty soon. I know
I'm going to look it up right now.
The U.S. plays against Vietnam, I think. Against Vietnam Friday.
July that might be a 10. That might be a 10-0 game.
Yeah. We're gonna beat them again
next Thursday, I think, the 20th, July 20th. So that's this Thursday.
Yeah. The U.S. plays the 21st the next day. So, but I mean, you got teams like New Zealand. I think Norway is going to get that one. Yeah.
What's nice is some of the games are prime time West Coast, so we'll be able to watch them in good time. Yeah. They'll be day games, but because it's in Australia and New Zealand, the U.S. will be playing at 6 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. So get your gear out, cheer the women on. Take a look at Trinity Rodman. Like you said, Chris, she's really has a chance to be a breakout because we're missing a lot of players, specifically Mallory Swanson, who's a really good young striker who should be in her prime. And the old guard, I think, have sort of running through their course. Some of the players, doing that stuff. So
I will go.
It should be good
on the limb. I think Trinity Rodman is going to be the next star for the U.S. National team. I really believe so. I mean, what's her name? Rapinoe, she's retiring, of course, but she's been actually. I don't think she's been the top player for the women's team recently.
No,
she was at one point, of course, along with Carly Lloyd, but now they're out. So the new generation.
Alex Morgan is the name. It was in my head that I was trying to remember.
Yeah, no, it's her, Alex Morgan. She's actually. You can say that. She is the player with the most name in the team right now, and actually, she's going to be the 9, the striker.
She plays here in my hometown.
Yeah.
She plays in San Diego at the Wave FC. So it's nice.
So I think it's going to be interesting, man. Of course, the U.S. governs this tournament, but we were talking on the chat. We are actually not talking about just everybody in general putting their input, and I mean it's controversial. We don't have that subject today, but I mean it doesn't matter. I mean it's kind of controversial how things went. You're trying to grow the sport, and like you said, it's probably not a wise idea to take it to New Zealand or to Australia
for sure
to grow the sport, really, because it's not famous over there. Football.
No. I mean, to be fair, the Matildas with Sam Kerr, they are a good team, and I think Australia historically has been very equity-minded with female athletes, and they have equal play, and they do great in Olympic sports. But it's a country that's, I don't think Australia has. If it has 50 million people, I'd be shocked. Between the whole area, the people, Now, to be fair, that's a U.S. and European view. Like, if you can grow in China, it's more in their time zone. You can grow the game in Japan, it's more in their time zone. Or you can grow the game in Korea, it's more in their time zone. So to be fair, we do have a U.S. and European-centric view, so maybe that's unfair on our part. But as Americans, as European sport fans, it's a little bit trickier to sort of get jazzed for this one, especially we do have a short turnaround from the Euro to this tournament because it had been delayed. So the women's Euro was only last summer or 2 summers ago, and some of the European teams are pretty pumped.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Chris, can I do an impromptu go through the groups real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Group A, the host New Zealand have Norway, the Philippines, and Switzerland. We would assume Norway would go through with Ada Hedberg, and then either the host or Switzerland go through. Group B, Australia, Canada, Nigeria, Ireland. That is a group of death, I would say. Canada has a great program. Sinclair, I don't know if Christine Sinclair is playing anymore. Nigeria always bring great athleticism and power and have the pedigree within a group out of Africa. And then the Republic of Ireland, obviously, tough group. I couldn't call this one, but I would say probably Canada and Australia be power of Sam Kerr. Group C, Costa Rica, Japan, Zambia. We talked about Zambia with our girl Barbara, but Spain is the class here. Spain are my favorites to be in the final, and then Japan have a pedigree, being World Cup champions, beating the U.S., I believe, in 2014. Costa Rica bringing up CONCACAF. They're still trying, a great nation in football, but I don't know how far their women's program has gone. And Zambia we know about with their amazing striker. Group D, another very, very tough group. China, Denmark, England, Haiti. Haiti we know is going to be a plucky story where they're trying to raise money. Their country's in shambles. Going to be tough for them to probably even win a game. They may give up 50 goals in these 3 games. They're really going to have a tough time. Hopefully there's a lot of French players at play. But England are the class of the group here with Denmark. China really resting on former glory or being the first World Cup champion, famously in the final in 99 when Brandy Chastain rips her top off and it becomes the legend. Group E, you find Netherlands, Portugal, United States, and Vietnam. If this was Cup, the United States would not get out. Men's World Cup, but this is the Women's World Cup, and the United States is far better than Portugal. So U.S. and Netherlands will prove with Vietnam making up the numbers. We need more groups to go, so just hang in there. This is my minute of glory. Brazil, France, Jamaica, Panama. Brazil not as good in the women's game as the men's game. Marta will be 38. She still leads the line for them. France also a bit in turmoil. Jamaica are a dark horse team that people really like. I like to see them coming out of the group with Manchester City women's striker Bunny Shaw leading the line for Jamaica. Very, very good team. Look forward to seeing Bunny Shaw up front for Jamaica. France missing a lot of players, a little bit older now. Group G, a wild card. Argentina, Italy, South Africa, and Sweden. Sweden, the historically strong group here, but I would expect that Italy would join them. Perhaps Argentina finally getting their things together. Remember, we talked very briefly last week about South American teams moving. And then Group H, you have Colombia, Germany, South Korea, Morocco. Morocco's men's did really well. It's good to see the women there. I'm assuming that female Moroccan team is probably mostly French, but it's good to see them there. I would say the class of this group is Colombia and Germany. Colombia always bring numbers. I'm excited to see how their women, their fandom translates to Australia, because the Colombians are the best supported group outside of some of the crazy European sides. Colombians really bring it when it comes to the World Cup. And those are the women's group stage World Cup numbers starting on Thursday.
I think I know you're tired, but I think
I'm good.
I think either England, the US, those are my favorites. Spain, of course.
Spain. The issue with Spain is not a talent issue. They have had a massive dust up with their coach where players walked off the field. They didn't want to coach with them. Strangely, the Spanish FA decided to keep the coach over the players. I don't know if that means the players will just be like, we'll just play because they know they don't have power, or whether they'll play. But they're going to be made up mostly of Barcelona players. The Spanish, if you know this, Barcelona women's undefeated for 2 seasons, lost the last game of the season to Real Madrid after having already won the league.
The best player.
They were literally like Putelas.
Yeah.
Pustelas? I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that.
She's fantastic. And I will be misogynistic. She's gorgeous.
Okay.
She looks great. That doesn't matter. That's not important. You're just getting my preferences. There's a lot of beautiful women, but she happens to be the most beautiful woman of all the players. Shout out to Alex Morgan. Always she's gorgeous.
Also pretty. Yes,
had a big. It's not what it's for, but hey, why not?
Well, definitely that's the appeal. I mean, believe it or not,
part of it. And they're really good. Like I'm not being funny. Like high level women's football is really, really quite good. I think it's worth watching. I think it sort of the bigger thing is it lets you kind of let go of the notions of, oh, we watch it for the most talented people. I don't think that's true. You watch it for passion, for effort, for nationality, and for the stories around the teams. And I think that if you can let go the fact that they can't always make a cross-field ball or some of their touches are bad or whatever, it's really high quality from an effort and stamina and fight perspective. If you want to see good mentality, this is where you want to go. And I think the crowds are super positive. You get a different vibe. I love the sound. I have to say this. This is one of the things that's great about it. I have a daughter, so I think about this a lot. The sound of a stadium that is a woman's sound of cheering. It's just a different sound where the majority is young women or girls.
Right.
It just sounds great. And I love to hear it, especially when they're singing like soccer chants of your national team or, something silly in English. It just has a little bit of something different. So I recommend it. It's great.
No, you're right. I mean, incredible. I have a daughter too. She's only 9 months. But eventually you can hope. I'm telling you, I mean, if you are in third world countries, India's not going to win the World Cup regardless, man or female. But what I mean is like Argentina or Brazil. I mean, if you want that hope eventually, which some people say you shouldn't live your dreams through your kids, and that's true. But you couldn't hope really to for your little girl eventually to play football. Maybe, of course, now 20 years later, maybe it develops more in like South America or but really is the man that
but to take a step back, and I think that's a key thing that I think we should touch on is the issue for these women's teams is surely not the talent. You only need 11 players. The passion is there. These countries don't spend money on their women's programs.
Is true.
They find ways not to use money. They don't give them practice time. They don't have the best coaching. Famously, I believe one national team, and I can't remember, had the same coach for like 30 years. I think Spain, before this most recent coach, it's been the same 20 years because he was the only person who would do it. So I think with a country like, with some of the sort of lesser, with sort of the bigger male football nations, but they're not doing well with women, it's a matter of focus. You can see it can change very quickly. The European team quickly changed focus and decided it was a priority, and all of a sudden you're seeing the level of play in those leagues go through the roof. And I have to tout my own team because my beloved Manchester City, as much as you can talk about oil and whatever, they invested in that women's team very early on, forced Manchester United to go professional, forced Liverpool to go professional, because I think those clubs were into not having teams. Man United did not have a team. Liverpool did not have a team. These were big clubs without female teams. And respect to Arsenal, who had a team for a long time, and respect to Chelsea, but also respect to City, who made their team professional. These women's clubs were not professional up until not even 10 years ago. These are women that had jobs and played football because they loved it. And so now you're seeing professional women who can practice all the time.
They weren't taken serious.
Correct.
But anyways, that's
and
good.
It's still not a lot of money. It's still the world transfer fee for a woman's transfer, I think, is $500,000.
But with that,
just to give you context,
I always say the numbers. I mean, even in the men's side, I don't even think numbers really reflect what a player is worth. I think it's too much money now. But even though they also, a lot of these players make money as far as marketing and image rights, so they do. You can debate, and so in the same token, I mean, women's sport is relatively smaller than men's at this age. So
at this time,
it does make sense that they get paid less. They shouldn't get paid too much less. They should make millions. I mean, that is a fact.
Yeah.
They should make in certain leagues, though. Of course, every league in every country is different. But
it's
I mean,
it's more, to me, it's more about brand extension. It's more about, I only know my own team really well, so I apologize if there's other teams that do this, but you see things like Arsenal Fan TV, you see things like Chelsea social media. They really unify the club, and you saw Emma Hayes cover the Women's World Cup. She's a great coach, and she's a great talker about football, and you just want to elevate and have you just need time, right? It takes time to build the institutions of people remembering, oh, it's a Women's World Cup team. Oh, that's my team playing. I'm going to go support the girls. Or, hey, oh, my team is out of the FA Cup, but I can watch the women's team. So it gives you more chances and another side to pick up because they are at the top level. These are the best of the best. And I think that's what people respond to, regardless of the gender. As long as it's the best of the best at their field, you can get involved, right? That's why the Women's World Cup is so good. That's why the women's team. That's why USL is so big right now. That's why the Women's Champions League is so good. I recommend watching next year. It's on, I believe in the US, it's on CBS. Watch it. It's really, really good. And it's really hard. It's old school. Like they go straight to the round of 16. Only 2 teams from each club make it. So like when you start it, they're already at the best of the best. So I know we've gone a little bit long on a Women's World Cup.
But it's good. It's good. I mean, we need to talk.
Should check out. Yeah.
At this point, it is top football. We talk about top football here at Soccer Talk, and definitely it's what's happening. And we also need to do our part to talk, because if we don't talk, then we keep it hidden, and people that may not know about it don't know about it. Stay.
Yeah, and again, the thing I think about is your club. Like, start with your club. You support Real Madrid. There's a women's Real Madrid team, and you know what? They're not as good as Barca right now. So you should you should start whistling at your team. Like,
there is no way.
Where's the women?
With you, there is no reason why Real Madrid shouldn't compete. But Real Madrid have all the resources in the world, so they have
to make it a priority. And you know what? Now Barcelona is embarrassing them. Frankly, the women are. The men, they're fighting, but. And the thing is, it doesn't cost anything. Like, this is the thing with these big clubs. Like, you have the brand, it's still the shirt. To fund a woman's team right now, it's $5 million. That's an 18-year-old who might become something, maybe. Right? That's like a transfer from in the championship of the English league, or somebody. It doesn't cost anything. It's worth doing. Anyway, let's get to our rundown before I take up all the air with your show.
No problem at all. We got to start talking about what else is going on in European football. Of course, we're going to talk a little bit on this side of the pond of whatever you want to call it. About Lionel Messi. Really, is the only thing that's popping. I mean, the MLS is going, but but European football. We're not really going to get into the Mbappe deal. It's getting developed, and we're going to put a new video here later in the channel. So later in the day, so you'll get that specific news. But the biggest thing right now going on in Europe, of course, everybody's playing their friendly games, or everybody's getting ready. Arsenal finally got Declan Rice. They're they're getting trained and warmed up. Arteta said they're not sure if they're going to be closing on transfer windows. They're going to be looking, but as far as they're concerned right now, as far as looking for somebody specifically, they should be out of the market. Now
they got the guy they wanted.
Yeah. The biggest story is none other than Harry Maguire. He is angry and shocked over Manchester United's captaincy acts, and he's ready to quit.
Is he really angry and shocked?
Well, I mean, that's the information.
I'm sure.
Not only. Well, he must be angry if he came out on social media and talked about it the way he did. There's no reason why he should have. I mean, technically, there's no reason of why, other than getting attention from it, as of why he should be going out to social media and telling Ten Hag talked to me privately, and he told me I won't be the captain no more, and blah blah blah. Like, why do people want to know that? Other than you want controversy, and he got it because everybody's talking about it. Fools like us that, somebody leaked that he's ready to quit, and Chelsea might be considering a stunning transfer, which I just don't understand. But what is your take?
Well, listen, if United and their fans think he's really that bad, right? If you really think that he's really that bad, then you should just let him go, because that would be what a big club does, right? Yeah. You're not afraid, so he goes. Big deal, right? That's what a big club does. And if United still want to be a big club, they have to let players go. For instance, I think I saw a stat a long time ago, and under this last 10 years since Alex Ferguson, United have done terrible transfer business, and you can find it on Full-Time Devils or whatever the channel is that you follow. United have been terrible at selling players, and they should take this as an opportunity. Get the 20-40 million from Chelsea. Just take it and let him go. If he's as bad as you say he is, let him go. As for the captain thing, this is such an English thing. I know, like, my focus is always much on English football, and that's the league that I cover the most and care about the most. But it's very strange. The rest of the world is not so into captains. The English are obsessed with captains. All they do is talk about captains. You talk about Steven Gerrard, who he's the captain of Liverpool.
Well, they have an importance. I don't think that anybody's the captain. Certainly,
but the English are specific about it, right? Like here in Spain, about the captain of Real Madrid. ¿Qué te pasó?
In Spain, it's more of like longevity. So the oldest guys usually
they just do it. They just do it by seniority, right? Right. Yeah. So what's interesting is you have a guy in Maguire who, by nature of being a defender and the highest paid defender, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decided that he should be the captain. Okay, fine. It's a very ceremonial position. It shows your status, your stature, your leadership within the club, your accountability. I will say this about Harry Maguire. He shows up for interviews. He takes it on the chin. He gets it, and he does do the talks. Like, he doesn't run away, which is nice. Because some guys don't interview.
Well, I mean, like a lot of these guys have to do. I mean, there's no other way to put.
Well, but a lot of the foreign players, they play like, I don't speak English well enough, so they don't do it. Like, I know this because City had Aguero and David Silva, and I can tell you, in 10 years of David Silva, I never heard him speak. All I know about him is
just to point aside, that should be obligatory. If you come to play my club, you need to. I'm gonna provide you classes. You need to learn the language. I mean, that's nonsense. Aguero and what Tevez did, I never liked that. But anyways,
but City let them do it, right? Because that's what they did. Anyway, so goals. Maguire is a stand-up guy. He has taken it on the chin. He has become fairly unfairly a lightning rod for everything wrong with United. John Santana, who's in our chat group, is just like he deserves it. I don't think anyone deserves it, but I think Ten Hag should have just stripped them immediately. Just be like, something new. It's my team. I want to do this, rather than make it into this preseason weird thing. It's bizarre.
Well, yeah, Maguire actually is the one at fault. I mean, he definitely wanted attention from this.
Oh, maybe he. But you know what it is? Think about it this way, Chris. The season's about to start. They're going to go out on the pitch. He's going to play minutes. He's going to go out without the armband, and another player is going to go on with the armband. And then it'll just be a conversation. Like, you can't hide from it. So maybe he was trying to get out.
So you think like Ten Hag should have just been like, out of nowhere, just, hey, who else? Casemiro, you're captain tonight, and well, it could have been.
Listen, it should be. I don't know how it worked. It
shouldn't have been a big deal. You said
it shouldn't have been a big deal. It shouldn't have been announced. It should have just been.
Actually, I will give it to you. I will give it to you because if he would have done that, maybe in preseason, there's always nothing to talk about, so they're going to talk about that.
Perfect time to do it after they won the Carabao Cup. Just change it. Because they would
then people would be like, so you had a preseason, and then he was your captain, and all of a sudden you change it. People are always going to find a way to talk about it. But I do agree that if he just per se started the season with a new captain, then it's just too much going on that really probably wouldn't have been as. And the other
thing is, it's Manchester United. You and I both know.
So it's going to be talking about one of the greatest. You got to admit it. It's always people are going to be talking about one of the greatest of all time, Man United, man, they're going to be talking. There's always talks.
I mean, listen,
if you
it's
think
Real Madrid, Man United, Barca, and Liverpool, right? Those are the four.
If you
those
think
are the biggest clubs in the world.
If you think about it, actually, earlier today, you were like, I got a few points from City, and I said perfect, and then I started looking at it, and I was like, wow.
Nobody cares.
Because listen though, but listen. I know there's people that care, but if you actually go to every website, every article, everything is all Man United for the most part, or Arsenal, but and then I realized like, dang, everything that our topics, the Daily Mail, the Sun, One Football. I mean, everybody's just about Manchester United, and I realized that, and I was like, wow. That's kind of biased, but
well, I mean, and that's also okay. Like, I don't begrudge that, right? Like, we know what clubs run the news. It's the 6-7 teams that everyone talks about all the time, right? With City kind of breaking in just because they've made people break in.
But also the thing about it, though, the thing about it, it's a good thing also for City because you won everything, and there's nothing to talk about you. I mean, you won everything. So, really, there's no drama. There's no. I mean,
no drama. They try and make up drama, and there's none.
Exactly, because the other day the Daily Mail put Jack Grealish still drinking, she's still partying, and it doesn't make as much noise at this point because what else? What are you going to tell somebody that won everything? Now, if he doesn't come in shape when it comes to the season start, then definitely people are going to talk about it. So,
well, I mean, just to give my quick short shrift, if you're not aware, City fans, what's happened is having won everything, a lot of the older players who've been with Pep from the first year are all leaving. Right, Gundogan's gone already. Bernardo Silva has been wanting to go for like 3 years. Kyle Walker's got a deal with Bayern Munich already lined up. And now Riyad Mahrez, the first bid from a Saudi team, has come through very low. But those were players, to be fair. We know from this season, Walker was a little bit pushed off to the side. He did do a great job on Vinicius. So these are players that won't affect City in terms of a full season, in terms of a full campaign, like a Premier League season. But it will affect how they can play different games in different situations. They're losing situational players where, Mahrez was a special player when we needed a goal or a team was playing really compact. They put him out wide and he could come on his left foot and do his thing. Or Gundogan, I think, is a key player, right? Obviously, he wanted to go to Barca for a long time. They didn't want to pay him. He's 33 years old. He's got 2 bad knees. They let him go.
Now I got a question. I got a question about this. Some of these statements that Maguire made, because I don't know if it makes sense. He said since the day I took on the role 3.5 years ago. So Cristiano was there. He was not the captain?
No.
Oh my goodness.
So he may have been the vice captain.
Maybe that was part of the problem, because if I'm Cristiano in the team and Maguire, he's not telling me what to do, man. I'd tell him, man, go on somewhere. Go kick rocks, man. Give me some Gatorade.
Well, that was the issue, right? The team was fractured. With the Portuguese and the English guys,
and you got Pogba and Pogba, which I think we debated the other day. I think he's still. I would take him if it was on my team, but I mean, if you put him in that,
you can take him on your team, and when I play your team, I will beat your team because he's not a winning player.
I got Casemiro. If I'm Man United, I got Casemiro. I got nothing to worry about. So I think, man, I'm telling you. But regardless, so basically, listen, let's just make the story short. Maguire has been shown the exit, with this.
Oh, he's gone. He's long gone.
We don't know. Somebody's got to pay the price, and
they should just exile him.
No, but let's
do the dirty.
Well,
you're playing with the under 21s.
They gotta get some money, man. They can't just let him. Go free.
But you've got, it's a sunk cost. It's gone. That's it. They bought him 4 years ago. Paid 80 million. This is it. It's done. He's gone.
They're gonna have to get 20 out of him at least. Okay. So let's shift. Let's crossfade into what has been sounding, and is that Chelsea, Pochettino might be interested, and I really don't understand. Like, I try to look hard, and I don't want to get into the debate of when Manchester United got him, but the fact that Chelsea's interested, I don't understand how they see Maguire being a top club player. He is not a top club player to me. I mean,
funny thing
I don't see that.
is perhaps, so here's the thing, right? We know that with England, Harry Maguire is a good player. This is a team that made a Euro finals with him at the back. This is a team that made a World Cup semifinal with him at the back. So he's clearly not crap, right?
Well,
like,
yeah.
Just hold on. We also have to acknowledge the fact that Manchester United is a zoo that has basically only been coached for the last 12 months. The years before that, there was no coaching going on. Rangnick had no control over that team. Ole basically didn't coach. So for the last half of Maguire's career, or the last 5 years, he hasn't been coached. Perhaps Pochettino remembers him at Leicester when he was last in the league and is like, you know what? That dude can do a job, and I will get him back to the job he needs to do.
I mean,
because right now, that team has Thiago Silva in the middle of a back three, who is 38 years old and still their best defender, which is a problem.
Yeah.
Now, they have Fofana, they have Badiashile, they have a bunch of young guys who are sort of finding their way, and perhaps Maguire can just go, okay, I'll play in the middle of this three, I'll take the ball out, I'll just always drop deep and try and read the game from where I am, versus trying to use speed and being part of a back four where he's got to find the right angles. I mean, and he's getting exposed.
If I was Maguire, I mean, I would jump on it, definitely.
Oh, for sure. I would go to Chelsea like that.
Now, West Ham, Tottenham, and Newcastle, they could be interested as well, are considering. So, I mean, I don't think they'll give more than 20 million for him, 25.
No.
That's it, man, because that's, and I don't think there's going to be any issues. They want to get rid of him, and he obviously, but I think he would go to Chelsea, obviously. That would be the number one choice,
the
go
team
to another
that
top
he
club.
Should go to, that he could revive his career, I think, is West Ham.
Yeah, but I think he could do something at Chelsea now, because you mentioned all those youngsters. I mean, he could build a name. He's going with a certain. I mean, it's hard because Maguire, man, he's known around the world already. So I don't know if I want him.
He's got to be protected, right? He's got to have guys in front of him who he's got to have a coach that knows what he's good at
him
and can protect him from the things that he's bad at, right?
Yeah,
turning and kind of getting into trouble, but he's still good carrying the ball. He's still good with a line breaking pass. It's just that he was put into situations that he couldn't do. He's not a good
exactly
1v1 defender in space.
Maguire is an old school defender. If you give it to him, he's gonna kick it out of his stance. He's not gonna worry about it. Now, if you ask him to control, to possess the ball, he's gonna he might make a mistake that he's gonna be on Shackton a fool for a week. So
no, but it's more things happening in transition where he's got to make decisions where there's a winger and there's a ball carrier.
He doesn't know how to
rotate.
make
those decisions, and he just doesn't have the foot speed to handle those 2-on-1 situations, or when things are chaotic and people are running towards him. He has a hard time, and I think in possession is where he's at his best, and when he can have someone in front of him protecting him. That's true of a lot of defenders, but I think the idea that Maguire is terrible, I think, is unfair, because he hasn't really been injured that much. And it's in there. He needs a good coach.
He needs to. He can definitely help a Premier League team. I'm not saying
absolutely
middle of the table up. And
listen, Spurs fans, don't throw up in your mouth. He's better than every single defender Spurs has. Every single one. I would kick Eric Dyer out of the fucking stadium to have Harry Maguire instead.
If you want to,
Eric Dyer is trash.
If you want to convince Kane to stay, then give Maguire.
No, that's not the way to do it. No, that's not the way. But he's, the thing is, you just got to think about where the team is, right? Like, is he better than what you have? If he's better than what you have, and he's $20 million, that's nothing for a team, for a Champions League playing defender. Now, let's be fair, right?
Now,
I made a quarterfinal with him on the team.
According to reports, is that Ten Hag and United have been a little upset at his unwillingness to leave the club, and they say that's why.
Give me my checks. Give me my checks. That's why I want to go.
They couldn't sign Napoli's center back Kim Min Jae. But I agree with you.
It's Maguire's fault. Sure.
If I have a contract, I'm not going to make it easy. You either pay me or find somebody else to pay me. I mean, I do.
Think about Gareth Bale.
Now that's $200,000 a week now.
Gareth Bale sat in Spain, not giving any crap, and just like
he's playing golf.
Donde? Let's go.
He said he put a flag up that said Wales. After Wales, golf, and Real Madrid was like
in that order.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. But no, I mean, you can't be mad at the guy. I mean, $200K a week. That's his livelihood forever.
He doesn't have to help the team.
Exactly. He does.
He's got a contract. He just plays it out.
As far as he can help us say, okay, you want me out? I'm willing to move. I mean, but he's not gonna cut down on his money just because they made him that deal. They let him have it, so they gotta take their pill, man.
United's fault, right?
Exactly. Now,
again, the worst run club in the league.
Well, now there's 5 candidates that, according to the Sun, for the captaincy of Erik Ten Hag's.
Who are they?
So we got Casemiro, which I think should be, but because I think
how's his English?
Well, I don't know.
He's got to talk to the refs.
Yeah, well, that is
he
true.
Can't be the captain.
Hey, but
okay, who else?
Casemiro is an outlaw, man. He's I wouldn't put it back, but Marcus Rashford, they have him as well on this list, and I mean I can understand it because of the longevity, but you need to have a dog right there, and I like Casemiro being in the middle. He's going to be more than likely in every play, but we'll see about his English. You're right. I mean, that's got to be important.
You know what's funny? The player that I think
Bruno Fernandes.
If we take English, but he's a baby. He rolls around on the floor and complains about every single call.
Yeah.
You want your captain to lead the team. I think that's actually one of the things that hurts him from being considered a great is you gotta shut up and play, dude.
Yeah. I think
it's too much.
I think he was captain for a few games last season, if I'm not
mistaken.
of
course. I mean, I would imagine that he's captain often. Like he's the likely leader. He does speak up. He does get in players' ears. He is doing all that work that you'd expect. But that attitude that he has, I don't know where it comes from or why he does it or whatever. But that stuff, I wouldn't want the guy who represents the club to try and get a ref to be on our side, be a guy who is constantly haranguing and bothering the ref all the time. So my pick would be Luke Shaw because he's English. He shows versatility. He does what he wants. He does what he can for the team, and he's been on a team for the longest.
He is, but I mean, does he play consistently?
Yes. He played center. This is one of the reasons that Harry Maguire needed to leave. Remember, but Harry Maguire was not injured. Lisandro Martinez does his Achilles, and Ten Hag put Shaw at center back before Harry Maguire.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is now Martinez is back. Varane is back, and some people put Varane as well. His English is good.
Yeah, but Shaw's really good.
He's not a good captain. The Varane is not a guy. I know for a fact.
No, he's not.
I know Real Madrid. He's not a. He never was. That was part of the problem that he just didn't have.
Right. Whenever Ramos didn't play, they were a mess.
That attitude. So Martinez, another guy, but I think he just got to the club.
Again,
I mean, the Argentinian attitude.
How's his English?
Well, he didn't
how's
play.
His English? Do these guys speak English? I don't know. These are the questions I'd have.
I do. I would vote for Casemiro. I would. I mean,
yeah. I mean, he's the logical player.
He's somebody that it's a presence.
He's the logical player. Yes,
he's a presence.
I agree.
Now Rashford, I know he's a kid. He's the Manchester United kid, but I just don't see him.
He's all the way up there in the front. Nobody wants a striker as the captain unless it's Alan Shearer.
They don't run back down anyway for anything. So much less for a foul.
You got it. The funny thing is that if McTominay were better, I feel like McTominay is actually the kind of guy who would be a good captain. He's kind of like a Jordan Henderson type, where he's not actually as good as anyone on the team, but he plays with his heart and tries to win games based on what he's got. So that would be another logical one to me, but I don't think that anyone wants McTominay on the team anymore. He's a representation of their failure. But I think he's the kind of player, if I'm a United fan, I kind of want McTominay on the team. I want him to be the guy who comes off the bench and represents the academy, that represents the badge, right? You need those guys that give lineage of space and time connecting the club together.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that. And no, we got to get moving now. Marcus Rashford agrees to a $375,000 per week. My goodness. He better be a captain. He better be everything, fixing the bathrooms. Because, whoo, boys, that's a lot of money, man. 5-year contract. 5-year contract, boy. But 25-year-old.
I think the issue is with him is like, to me, this is my thought. The guy, he was hurt, and I give him a little bit of credit. He had a bad shoulder or whatever. But to me, when he faded for a while there, before Ten Hag got credit for bringing him back around. Oh, Ten Hag's got his confidence back up. First of all, if you're a world-class player who's on £325,000 a week, you shouldn't need your coach to turn you around. You should have done that yourself. You're England's you're England's winger. Like, what are you doing? So I think I said it last time. I think he's a good player. He has scored big goals, including that bullshit one in the derby where he was offside, but they didn't call it against Manchester City. I'm over it. It's okay. And he did carry them in that middle portion of the season. I just don't think on any other team he would not be this big of a player. I think it's because he's from Withnall. He's from Manchester. He came up with the club under Van Gaal. He's a Red through and through. He does all the charity stuff. His story, I think, is much better than his play. I think he's okay. It doesn't mean he's bad. I'm just saying I don't think he's it.
Yeah, I mean, he apparently, with the rumors, PSG might want to get him because Mbappe is probably more than likely leaving. Well, he obviously decided to stay. Why would you leave? I mean, this is everything is your home, your friends, everything. The club you grew up. It's a big club in the world, and plus they're going to pay you almost $400,000 a week. Then why am I going to leave for France? I mean, the weather sucks. Well, these are these bullshit stories that get made up, and it just first of all, it was probably some of those get made up that way they raise the price on their negotiations. And it sells papers and it does things like this for people like you and I to do shows, and that's fine, which is good.
The thing is that last season, I'm pretty sure he outperformed his expected goals. Now, you're going to hear me say that. People get mad at me when I start talking about expected goals, but I'm using expected goals. He scored 30 goals on 20 expected goals. That's just, he was lucky. Now, is he a good finisher? Has he been over his expected goals almost every year? Yes, but plus 10, that is a lot. So in all competitions, 56 games, 4,200 minutes. That is an insane amount of football to play. A little bit too much for my liking. They probably need another striker. There's almost a goal every other game, 0.6 goals per 90 minutes. So almost a goal a game, but 0.6 is good, but it's not like top 10 in the league.
Well,
it was his first 30 goal season.
I think that
he's only had 21, 22. This kind of contract, you got to pay somebody that is probably the best player in the Premier League. Somebody that's, right.
I mean, it had to
Holland,
be.
Mbappe. You know what I mean?
That's what probably they could pay. I mean, how could you attract a big name in the world? I don't even think Premier League teams really are looking for that, or else they would get into the mix for real, like for Mbappe. Well, they got Haaland, of course, so I guess that's wrong. But I don't even know what Haaland gets paid.
A lot. Oh, probably the same number, honestly.
Yeah. But do you put him in the same level? No.
Here's the thing. I'll tell you a guy who's as good as Rashford, and people will laugh at me when I say it. He's not that much better than Ollie Watkins, okay? The striker for Villa, okay? He's not. Villa just doesn't create as many opportunities and doesn't play the ball in behind like that. I don't think Marcus Rashford is that much better than Ollie Watkins, okay? I think you could swap those two players for each club, and Ollie Watkins could do the same job as Rashford does. In fact, he's probably better because he's stronger and older. Now, could I be wrong? Sure. I just not a big, am I blasting United because I'm a City fan? Maybe. Yeah. But I just don't, I like Rashford. I think he's good. I think he's a fine player. I don't think he's the striker that's going to win you the Champions League, because I just found out who the striker who wins you the Champions League is. And to have those guys, they are the top notch players. And City didn't win it until they had Haaland, or the threat of Haaland.
I get you with the threat, because we haven't gotten to City yet, and Haaland didn't perform well in the Champions League in the games.
Well, the whole team didn't. They were scared. And they were petrified.
I'm not just talking about the finals. I'm talking about the games that matter the most. I didn't see Haaland. I like Julian Alvarez. We need to give him more time. I do.
I love him. I love him. He's a hell of a player. Oh my god.
Anyways, Manchester United are close to getting Onana. We've talked about this before, but we're just trying to update real quick. £43 million from Manchester United to Milan, Inter Milan.
It's a good deal. That's a good deal.
Onana, I think
really good deal.
Yeah. It's pretty good. And so,
especially when you put into context, 5 years ago, Liverpool paid $70 million for Alisson, who was considered the best in Italy when he was at Roma. So same type of player. I think the only thing that I would worry about is just Premier League. How's he going to handle it? Was he just a moment's player? Exactly. Can he sort of do the grind of? But Inter is a big club, so to be fair, but he was so good in the Champions League. City could have really ran away with that game, and he was really great. So Onana, I'm looking forward to it. I love an athletic keeper. I think he's great.
This is your moment. Newcastle has launched a club record offer of £82 million for Napoli star
Kvaratskhelia.
Whatever, man. I don't even think that's way too long for what you said. But they're preparing for the Champions League, man. I'm excited to see Newcastle, man, because they're just like a team of the past that just haven't been on the.
Yeah, listen.
I love seeing
as
those.
As much as I love
black stripes.
Yeah, I as much as I love my club and everything, I'm more of a fan of the stories and style of play. And I will admit freely that Newcastle were the best team to watch last season outside of Manchester City. Oh, and Brighton. It's Manchester City, then Brighton, then Newcastle. And so they ran you ragged. I loved seeing crazy Dan Burn at the back, but it's going to be a different season for them this year, right? They're going to have European football. They're not going to be able to play the same 11 guys over and over and over and over again. What Eddie Howe did was a coach of the season level performance, to have guys like Murphy contribute, to have Almiron, who was dead and buried, have 11 goals, to still be rocking with Longstaff in the midfield, guys that embody that area of the country for England, because it is special. These are areas that are bigger. The clubs are bigger than just football. They mean more. I mean, True Geordie, who's on YouTube, one of the bigger YouTubers of all time, he started as a passionate Newcastle fan. He's expanded past that and gotten canceled and recanceled, and he's back and he does all sorts of stuff. But it's because he's a Geordie. He lived with the brand. And so that passion comes through. And I think all the Geordies ever wanted, all the Newcastle supporters ever wanted, was a team that reflected who they were as a city. And that's what Eddie Howe has done. And it's one of those things that I like to talk about a lot, which is the concept of a team being connected from the players to the supporters to the coach to the front office, right? Like, yes, they're owned by Saudis, but the owner is an English woman who's the chairman, and she's running the team. So they have that alignment of everything being connected. And I hope that they have a good season. I don't think it's nailed on that they'll make the top four. I think that they'll be lucky to get out of a group. But because when you have to grow in the Champions League, go ahead.
No, I think they can make the top. I think they can make the Champions League again. I think they can fight. I think they can fight for the Premier League, man. I know it's tough, man, but Manchester City we'll definitely make this a
they're going to come down. City are coming down. There's no way.
Arsenal, we got to see what's happening, and we're going to talk about this definitely in later episodes when we have more time. But I do believe that they're gonna fight. They're gonna fight for it, and this is good, man.
The thing is, Chris, there's too many teams, right?
I know.
It's City locked in.
I don't see Chelsea or United fighting there. So
you think United drop out of the top 4?
Yeah. I mean, what has changed? I mean, okay, Mount.
Okay, if Mason you're on the Mount's Mount, not enough for you.
If you're on the Mount bandwagon, I mean, that's fine. But
okay,
I mean, Mount
so you're saying Chelsea and United don't make it. Okay, fine. That leaves us Arsenal.
Well, I'm not saying
Liverpool,
that necessarily they don't
City.
make it, but Liverpool. I mean, look how they ended. So all of a sudden of course they're gonna be fighting all the time. Yeah, you're right. I mean, big teams are always gonna be there. They're gonna be, I mean,
it's a vote for Klopp. Do you believe in Klopp?
Well,
is he really gonna have two down seasons in a row?
No, you always gotta believe in that big old smile. So but yeah, and. Yeah. But I see Arsenal winning. But we're gonna get into this, man. This is gonna be good talk.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Oh, we've got to do a prediction. We got to write it all down. We'll make graphics and everything.
You're right. We definitely got to do that. All right. So just quick news. What do you think about PSG Ultra sending chilling warning signs to Vlahovic? I don't even know what the heck this is about. I mean, I know that is this even related to football? Like the poor kid just put 3 fingers. I don't think he was meaning to do anything. And he's supposed to be going to that team, or PSG is supposed to be seeking him. So I don't think he's going to go.
So I have a dear friend, my friend Dan Sormaz, who is a Serbian via Canada. And when you talk about the Balkans, and you're talking about between Serbs, Croats, Slovenians, Macedonians, Albanians, you're talking shit that is like blood feuds from the 14th century.
Yeah. No,
they hold on to stuff that is beyond any of our comprehension. You want to talk about the best derbies in the world. Partizan versus Red Star in Belgrade is like they set things on fire. They have army trucks that walk the fans through. So these are the toughest groups and the toughest people in the world. And if he made some sign that represented something that we don't understand, it's real and it's not a joke.
Well, and you're right.
What was the? Yeah, it's old school stuff that we don't even understand. It's like,
I don't even know if
you put a death curse on my family from the 10th century. You're like, okay.
But
that's why I love football. I love this kind of stuff. It's great.
Yeah, and because culture actually gets behind this, and
it's awesome.
We don't know what's going on, and I guess it's supposed to be referred to Serbian supremacy over Kosovo. But I want to know what has to do with PSG. I mean, I understand PSG we're friends. Paris, Paris has people from all over the world. So I mean, I just didn't put the two together, but I'm sure they have their reason.
Well,
However,
there's
never a reason to threaten somebody, though.
Sorry, I keep jumping in because I love this kind of stuff.
No, you're good.
A lot of this stuff comes from some of these ultra groups are sister clubs with each other. So there may be a connection with PSG to a team in Serbia, or like you said, immigrants. A lot of people after the Serbian war, they immigrated all around Europe. So there's a lot of Serbs in England. There's a lot of Croats. They're all over the world. And so this may have been one of those things where a group that has associated themselves with PSG have now sort of joined in and been a part of it. So we'd have to do a little bit more research. I'm just trying to run through it really quickly.
We have to get a Serbian here, your friend. But anyways, quickly, William is actually not going to go anywhere. It seems like he's going to stay at Fulham. So that's
it's so good for them.
Yeah. He was sounding for Nottingham Forest, but he seems like he's fine at Fulham. So that's good. And quickly, couple of minutes. What do you think about Lionel Messi's welcome in Miami? By the way, that stadium is the smallest stadium in history, and it's just sad to see Messi in the stadium that small. So,
well,
and like you said, that team has been poorly run, and now all of a sudden everything is great. No, that's not true. But he could have.
So I think I think it's one of the worst run teams in the MLS, and that's not an indictment on David Beckham. This is a guy who's a brand. He spent most of his life playing football, and he's made his money by being himself and being cool. That does not mean that he knows how to run a football club, right?
Yes.
Whoever his partners were, I know that they had trouble securing the stadium. It took them 3 years just to get the stadium off the ground. So that just goes to show a level of where they are. The next thing that they hired Phil Neville. Phil Neville, who couldn't manage the Lionesses, and they ran him out of town. The next coach after Phil Neville won the Euros. That's how bad a coach he was. He couldn't coach the women's team. Yes, he has the halo of Sir Alex Ferguson. Yes, he has his badges. But this is an English coach who couldn't do well with the English women's team, couldn't get him out of the quarterfinals. They get a new coach. They win the Euros, okay? So that's just one of those, like, went from Gerrard to Unai Emery. Basically, is the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
That was his friend that he played with when he was a teenager. So he nepotismed his own friend to be a coach. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So there's that. And now we have Messi, right? Messi's deal was only happening because of Apple stepping forward, and they basically gave him the farm. They gave him anything.
Yeah,
like,
right.
That's not a negotiation if you get bent over a barrel because he wanted to go to Miami. The bigger issue I find is this Miami team does not have talent. They only have 12 games to make it to the MLS Cup. And you are setting yourself up for failure if you think that Messi is so... We know this about football. Football is, and you're going to hear this a lot, Chris. This is one of my lines. Football is a weak link sport. Basketball is the strong link sport, meaning one player can completely change the fortunes of their team. In football, one bad player means your team is terrible. And Messi cannot change that team enough. Now, we did get Busquets as well. We're waiting on Jordi Alba. But if you're going to tell me that team is going to make up 15 points in 12 games, I'll be shocked.
Sergio Ramos might be joining. Hazard.
Washed up.
Yeah. I mean, it we'll see what happens with Inter Miami. It's good for the MLS. The sport is going to grow, but
it is good for the MLS.
Yeah.
I'm talking from a purely sporting
team,
perspective.
Yeah. All right.
This is the worst team in MLS.
Yeah, and you're right. You're right. I agree with that because being last, I mean, they didn't yesterday. St. Louis, my St. Louis team. I'm a fan of St. Louis now because they just got a damn football team.
That's the best time to get in.
It took them to get rid of freaking the Rams for us to get a soccer team, but that's cool. I'm not sure I appreciate the trade, but we beat them like a drum.
But
yesterday.
Look at this, right? Inter Miami are on 18 points. The Chicago Fire are on 32. That's to make the playoffs. I think the top 8 make the playoffs. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Right? I can't do math because I feel really stupid right now. That's 12 to make 30, right? So they're 14 points behind. And they have 12 games to go. You're telling me they're going to make it? They have the worst goal difference in the league by far. They're literally the worst team in all of MLS. The only thing that makes them not as bad is that Toronto FC with Insigne and Bernardeschi are worse.
Well, Sergio Ramos is going to fix all that. Anyways, this is it for this.
You're a big Ramos guy?
No. Well, I mean, I guess I like him, but, just irony. Really, I mean, not irony, but I don't know. They just bring in old players that don't have a spot in Europe. Other than Messi, which he could have played for any team probably, but he chose Miami, and I'm not sure that if Beckham had a team in Cincinnati that he would have gotten them there. I think
he chose Miami we already know the reason, right?
Yeah,
because he could go shopping.
Exactly.
The footage of him shopping with his family.
Yeah,
I bet he hasn't been able to do that
in a long time. He was testing the waters for sure. He was testing the waters. I'm not sure he's gonna do that a lot though, because
I don't think that was too bad. The thing is,
he wasn't too bad. But
shop even in the U.S. Why is he shopping with his family?
Hey, he just wanted to live a normal life, man. Anyways, that is it for this episode. Go ahead, finish your point.
Oh no, I got nothing.
Okay,
I did a lot of talking. Sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine, man. We're good. This was actually a great episode. I actually really enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy the previous ones. I'm sorry. No, I'm playing with you. I'm playing with you.
No, it's fine. We had some mishaps. That's good.
No, but yeah, the audio thing. But we're good now. We're good to go. And of course, thank you to everybody that's listening on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, on the website, on YouTube as well. These are the video goes there, and the clips as well. So shout out to Laurent Courtines, always staying with me here and doing some work. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right.